Mary Magdalene. Was she the prostitute who anointed Jesus' feet and was redeemed for her sins? The faithful follower who stood by Jesus at the cross when the other disciples fled in fear? Or a powerful leader of the early Christian church? For centuries, the bad girl of the Bible has caused a firestorm of debate over female power and sexuality. And now, more than ever. The blockbuster status of the Da Vinci Code has given Mary Magdalene a new identity in popular culture. Jesus' secret wife and mother of his child. She has been depicted as a disciple, a priestess, a religious leader, an intellectual, often portrayed reading.
Missionary, visionary, healer. She does everything.
And then, of course, today, she much more is emphasized as the apostle to the apostles.
New findings indicate that her influence may have been even more pervasive, critical to the launching of not one, but two millennium eras.
We have new information and ancient sources that give a very different perspective about Mary Magdalene that we never had before.
Those kinds of things lead us to regard Mary Magdalene as an extremely important figure in early Christianity.
Perspectives about Mary Magdalene that were lost are being rediscovered, elevating her importance to Western culture. But the question still lingers: who was the real Mary Magdalene? The mysteries surrounding Mary Magdalene are largely due to where they first appear, in sparse and often confusing biblical references. Every apparent fact that we know about Mary Magdalene is contained in the New Testament, which mentions her more times than any other woman.
We find in John's Gospel, for example, that the most extensive treatment of Mary Magdalene happens to be in chapter 20, only after the resurrection of Jesus. So there's naturally quite a lot of curiosity about where this Mary comes from.
A radical preacher who embraced the outcasts of society, Jesus had many female followers. He taught them scriptures, learning usually reserved for men. In Matthew and Mark's Gospel, several of Jesus' followers are named Mary.
It does seem as though there are lots of Marys that are mentioned in the Gospels, and there is in fact the tendency to conflate them all together to pretend that all of these different Marys are one character.
There are so many women named Mary in the Gospels because Mary is the most common name, as far as we can tell, for women in the first century, because Herod the Great's wife was Mariamne. And so in honor of the wife of Herod the Great, many women in the first century took that name. A form of it is Miriam, a shorter form of it is Maria or Mary.
Many scholars believe that Mary Magdalene's name comes from Magdala, a fishing village.
Migdal is the term for tower in Hebrew. So, of course, some people understand that Mary of Magdala is connected to the place Migdal.
Migdal still exists, but there is scant evidence that Mary Magdalene actually came from there.
There are no facts here. There appears to have been a woman whose name may have been Mary or Mariam from the town of Magdala on the Sea of Galilee.
When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. When I dial the telephone, nobody's home.
whatsoever he saith unto you, see that ye do it.